Hi guys, welcome to Naresh IT. This is Sudhakar and today we are going to discuss about SQL sublanguages. Okay, so in SQL sublanguages, okay, how many are there? Okay, and those sublanguages how to use, for what purpose I am going to use in here, okay, and what is the query syntaxes, okay, the syntaxes, what kind of syntaxes are there for your sublanguages of SQL, that all we will discuss now. Okay, so now first I will go for here the total how many sublanguages are there in SQL. Okay, so that we will discuss, and first I will go to list out okay, that all languages, and later we will discuss one by one query syntaxes. Okay, clear? And now I just go to here, the first we will see the sublanguages of SQL. Okay, so the what we called here sub, okay, languages. Okay, so sublanguages of SQL. Okay, so now we will discuss here the total sublanguages of SQL language. Now we will discuss, now here observe the first language we called here, my first sublanguage of SQL is called as a DDL we called. Okay, so it is called a data definition language. Okay, so first one, data definition language, and this language was having here that some commands are there. Okay, in that first command is create. Okay, so create, and later I have here alter, and later I have here the sp underscore rename, and next one we are going to use here truncate. Okay, we are using here truncate, and finally drop commands. Okay, so these are what it is here DDL commands we called. Okay, so there are 5 commands was there in this language, DDL language. Okay, so those are create, alter, sp underscore rename, truncate and drop. And next one, the next sublanguage of SQL that we called as a okay DML language. DML is nothing but data manipulation language. Okay, so in this language we have again okay some queries are there here that we called here. First one what we send insert, okay, and update, okay, and finally delete commands. Okay, so these are comes under your DML language. Okay, and the next one, next language we called here okay DQL is nothing but data query language. Okay, so in this language we having here okay, in this language we having now, so the only one command was there in the language, that command is called as a select, and later the next language we called as a TCL is nothing but transaction control language we called. Okay, this language was having here commit, and the second one we called as a rollback. Okay, and the third one we called as a save point. Okay, so in this language commit, rollback and save point, which will comes under transaction control language. Okay, so these are transaction control language commands I can say now. Okay, and here the TQL was having only one command, that is called a SQL command. Okay, and later we have the final language and the final sub language we called, that is called a DCL. Okay, is nothing but data control language. So this data control language was having the 2 commands here, one is called a grant and revoke. Okay, so revoke commands. So these are what it is here, the total 5 sublanguages of SQL, structure query language. Okay, so that means each and every language whatever we discuss here, DDL, data manipulation, okay, what we can say data definition language, data manipulation language, data query language, transaction control language and data controlling language. So these are the 5 sublanguages was there in SQL, but every language was having some specific commands, and those commands we are going to using to perform your database operations. Okay, so let us see that all commands, okay, we will go to see one by one. Okay, how to write and how to use these commands and how to write my syntaxes, that all we can check out. Okay, in this my first language we will discuss here data definition language. Okay, so now we will go to discuss my first one here, DDL language commands. So DDL language commands, and simply I can say working with my DDL language commands, working with DDL language commands. Okay, so now in this, okay, I already said you this language was having total 5 commands are there. Okay, but here these language commands basically we are going to using, okay, for the 3 reasons I am going to using here. My first reason, what it is here, creating or create new objects. Okay, creating new objects. Okay, objects are nothing but what it is here. For example, if I want to create a table, okay, otherwise I want to create a view, otherwise I want to create here synonyms. Okay, otherwise I can take here procedure, okay, like functions, okay, and like triggers, okay, so etc. These kind of objects I can go to create now. So whenever I want to create my table, view, synonym, procedure, function and triggers, then you can go to use your DDL commands now. Okay, so this is one thing why we want to use. And the later next one, the second purpose is what now, the modification purpose. Okay, that is called a modify. Okay, the modify, what I want to modify here, structure. So I will be modify here structure, so structure of the object or table. So for example, I can say now the structure of a table. Okay, otherwise any object, if any object, otherwise I can simply say that structure of the objects. Okay, the objects I already given above. So the structure of the objects, whenever you want to change, is nothing but modify. Okay, then I can use it. And the next one, what it is here, then I can use for drop. So I can say drop the objects. Okay, dropping the objects here. So I can use my drop objects. So whenever I want to drop the objects from database, I can say simply from database, even though I can use my DDL commands. Okay, so that means DDL commands, the basically we are going to using for the 3 reasons. One is creating purpose, creating objects and modify structure of the object, and later dropping the object from database. So these are the main reason why we are going to use DDL commands. Okay, so in this, the first command we will discuss here. My first command is what now, create command. Okay, so I think all of you know here create command. Okay, for what purpose I want to use, that everyone know this. Okay, so create command, simply I just say, okay, create command, simply I just say this command is used, okay, this command is used to create my objects and also database. So whenever you want to create your new database, even though I can use my create command. Okay, and also objects is nothing but table. If I want to create, again I want to use my create command. Okay, so this command using for to create a new database. Okay, I can use to create a new database. Okay, create a new database, and also like objects are nothing but what now, table. I create a new database and table. So whenever you want to create a new database and table, again I can use this, okay, create command now. Okay, so now first of all, what I want to do, before I want to create my table, first of all in my SQL server, first I want to create one database. Okay, so after creating database, later in that database, later I want to create my table, and after creating table, then later you can go to perform and go to insert your data or update or delete. So data manipulations you can do it. So first of all, what I am doing here, first in my SQL server I will go to create one new database. Okay, and later I will create one new table in the database. Okay, so for those purpose, for those operations purpose, I should be know the syntaxes I am going to showing here. The syntax to create a new database first of all. So I am going to take here a new database. First I am creating. For this purpose I am going to give some syntax to you. Just remember here. The syntax is very easy. So create, what I want to create now, database. So database is a predefined keyword. Okay, so create is a command and database is a predefined keyword I am using, and to create database I want to send here database name. So this is my syntax here to creation of new database. Okay, after creation of new database, what I am doing here, later how to create my table. So now I am going to writing here syntax to create, okay, a new table in the database. Okay, this is my second. Okay, so how to create a new table in the database. So whatever the database I was created, in that how to create my new table. For creation of new table is simply called a new structure, the table structure if you want to create, then this syntax should be follow. What is my syntax here? Create, okay, I will take your table, okay, so create and table. Now later I want to send here, I am passing here table name, so otherwise I will take your table name, okay, of, then later I want to send my column name. So you can send my column name 1 after column name. For every column name after, you just send your data type, because you know that, okay, so this or the column is regarding to or belongs to which kind of data type that I was mentioned here. So that's why I'm taking your data type. So data type I was taken here, after column name should be applied data type. If the data type is a character data types, then you should be mentioned size, okay. So the size should be mentioned when your data type is a character, okay, otherwise don't mention the size of the data type, okay. So like this, what I am doing here, the column 1 comma, in the same pattern if I want to go for my column name 2, okay, the second column I am creating, in the same to same I just send my data type, and if it is a character data type, what I want to need here, size is required, okay. So comma and so on. So like this, what you do, like this you can create a number of columns in a table, okay. So just I was created the two syntaxes I am showing in this, okay. One is how to create a new database, and later how to create a new table within the database, okay. So by using these two syntaxes, now I will go to create my database and table in SQL Server, okay. So how I can create, okay, by using the syntaxes, you can see now. So first of all, you will be go as usual, okay, go to open your SQL Server Management Studio, okay, that you know how to open SQL Server Management Studio, and later I just connect, but I am going to connect it, okay, I am going to connect here, okay, connecting to my SQL Server with the Windows authentication is nothing but administrator. So I am admin, okay, once you can see this. So I already said to you, admin means I can do anything or any kind of operations I can directly perform in my server environment. Okay, and now I am going to take here. So to write my query, I need a query editor. That query editor we will be take with the help of what now? New query option. So I just come out to click on new query option. Then that new query window will be open now, and later on what I want to do, I will be created one new database first of all. So syntax already I was given now. The syntax create database name. So now later I just come out here to create one database now. So create database, my database now. So I can say my class. Okay, so my class is my database name. So after writing your syntax, you just select this entire query, and later you just come out and click on what now? Execute option. And I already said to you, whenever you want to go for to execute, either execute option you can use, otherwise F5 keyword you should be use it. So now I just selected this entire query, and to click on F5 keyword from my keyboard, okay, just I enter. After enter, what it is happen, you can see command was completed successful. Okay, so later this command, this statement, whatever the statement you got, it means this is a positive statement. That means your query is successfully executed in my server. Okay, after executed, what I want to do, this database was created or not, if you want to check, then you just come to your Object Explorer window and go to your databases folder. Once the databases folder, I just open this, then you can see I was created just now. What is now? My class. So my class, okay, one database I was created. After created my class database, if you want to open this, then you can see some options was there, like database diagrams, tables, views, synonyms, programmability, service broker, storage and security. So in this we are going to discussing with what now? Tables. So but here you just come out to open the tables folder. Okay, yes, system tables and file tables are there, but these are not necessary here. I just open these folders also, but there is no system, there is no file tables. The system file tables how to create, that we will see in the later session. But here I just go to created my table now. Okay, but before I want to create a table, first thing should be remember. So first of all, when you see this, okay, drop down list was there here. In this drop down list control, automatically by default the database name was there. So what is the database name was there here? Master. Okay, so that means if later on if you created any new table, later on if you created any new table, the new table was created under master database. Okay, so that's why what you want to do, my table should be created under my own database. So what I created now, what is my own database here? My class. This is my own database I was created. So into that database I want to store my tables. So to store like this, what I want to do here, first of all the two ways you can go it. One is I am going to using through query. How to use query means, first of all, in which database do you want to store your tables? Okay, first that database should be selected. For the selection purpose, I am going to using now here use keyword use. So database name, what is my database name? So my class. Can you see this? Once you enter like this, automatically in your intelligence box, your database, that means how many databases are available in my SQL server, so that all databases are showing now. But in this, my class database should be selected because I want to store my table under my class database. Okay, so I just selected and I am going to execute now this keyword. When I was executed use my class statement, then what has happened? Here we have a master database was there. Okay, but now by default master was there, but when I want to execute use my class statement, then which database was selected there, you just come out and check. Now I go to executed now. Once executed, command was completed successful, and did you identify here? So in place of master, what it was came my class. Okay, so that means now I selected which database I selected, my class database I selected through my query. This is query through I selected. Otherwise, if you want to directly go to select your required database from this drop down list, then you just come out here. Okay, you just come out here and I just drag and drop, just I am going to drop now. Once I want to drop here, then it was dropping now. Okay, after dropping in your server, how many databases are there? That all databases here showing now. After that, here which database, in which database do you want to create your table? The database you should be select. So even though you can select like this also. Okay, so my class was selected here. Otherwise you can change. See, next I will select my demo. So now it was changed my demo or not? Yes. So in the way directly you just go to, so to select your manual database which you wanted. Okay, after selected my database here, then later what I am doing here, into this database my class I am going to create a table. But in my class, okay, database I already opened my table folder. So as of now there is no tables in this database now. Okay, so now what I am doing here, I am going to create one new table. So the syntax, okay, so what is the syntax here? Create table, table name. For example, simply I can say my table name is employee. Okay, I was create my table name is employee and I will send here employee ID. So employee ID integer data type, and later I will take employee name. So otherwise simply I can say emp ID, okay, integer. So emp name, I am sending here the varchar of, so otherwise in place of varchar, first I will go to create my e name or emp name with the char, okay, data type I created, and later I want to take here salary column, okay, with one more data type was there, that is called a money, and later what next, for example after salary I was taking age. So here age you want to use integer, otherwise tiny int, whatever you wanted. Okay, so like this what I am doing here, I was created one simple table. Okay, the table name is employee with the 4 columns. Okay, so whatever the column names here, my column names are, one is EID column name, okay, with integer data type, and later e name, okay, with the char data type, and later salary with the money data type, and finally age column is also having integer data type, that is called a tiny int. Okay, so these are what it is here, the table creation and the columns. Now the complete query I just selected here. After selected, you just come and click on execute button, otherwise press F5 keyboard. So once I go to execute now, once you can go to execute now, command was completed successful. After command was completed successful, then what is happened, if the table was created or not, you want to check. For the checking purpose, what you want to do, go to your my class database, because in which database are you created your table, go to that, and I just refresh my tables folder, okay, and later you just go to open now. Once open here, the table was created with the name is what now, employee, and here the extension was there, it is called a username. And what is the username here, DBO, database object. So every okay, every table or view or synonym, procedure, function, okay, everything will be treated as a database object. So that was taking here DBO username dot employee. So after table was created, then what I want to do now, the next immediately you have a question, how to see my table structure. Okay, so that is immediately question you will be raised. Okay, so when I want to see my table structure or structure of the table, then I am going to use one specific syntax. Okay, whenever you want to view your structure of the table, so that we called as a syntax to view. Okay, I can say now the structure. Okay, syntax to view the structure of a table. Structure of a table. So now here whenever I want to view the structure of table, okay, whenever I want to view the structure of table, then I am going to using one stored procedure, the predefined stored procedure I need, that is called a sp underscore help, and later I want to send table name. Okay, so what is sp underscore help, that we will discuss at the time of procedure, okay, concept. But here simply remember sp is nothing but stored procedure. It is one of the predefined stored procedure in SQL Server, and through this procedure I am going to view my structure of the table. So that's why here I was given my syntax was now sp underscore help. It is a predefined stored procedure, and along with this predefined stored procedure you should be send your table name. Okay, so once I will send my table name, then I will be get my structure of the table. Now you can see I just go to write my example. What is example here? sp underscore help, my table name, whatever the table name are you created just now, you just give it your employee. Okay, but here after getting this, okay, now you are getting a red mark below, but it is not a error. Okay, so why it will taking means in the same editor. Why it was taking red mark means in the same editor I am going to, or else I have some more statements here in this editor. So for example these statements, whatever it is there, that all statements I am going to just remove from my editor. Once I remove from my editor, now in this editor only we have a one query statement. That's why you can see now this time what it is happened, the red mark whatever it is there, the previously the red mark is avoided. Okay, because in the same editor if you have more than one statements, then automatically it will take a red mark, but red mark don't feel like it is a error. It is not a error, it's just the representation is showing that in the same editor more than one statements are there. Okay, so to avoid that red mark, you just avoid that all remaining statements and keep your necessary statement in this editor, then it doesn't show any red mark color. Okay, the whatever it is there, that is avoided. Yes, sir. So now I avoid this red mark, and later I just select this one and to execute it. Now once I executed, what is happening you can see, then complete your table structure was displayed. The table structure was displayed here, and you can see this is my table name. Okay, so on which table name, on which name I was created my table, that was represented name, and this is owner DBO. I said it is a user database object, and this is user table because this table was created by user. Okay, and this is the creation of date and time, on which time, which date are you created your table in the database, that was showing here. And later on in the next level, you can see this is my column name, and this is the type of the data type, and computed columns if any there. Okay, as of now I didn't create any computed columns, but if it is there it will showing yes, but it is no, there is no computed column. And later it is length, and this is precision and scale. So these are two values. And finally what it is here, the null bill. Again next what it is here, null bill column was there here. This null bill you can see now, this is my null bill. So null bill column. Okay, and later null bill means you know every column by default accepted null value. That's why each and every column, the 4 columns whatever I created in the table, so that all columns are accepting yes, yes, yes and yes. Okay, later I used here trim. Okay, the fixed length, these are not necessary, you just avoid this. Okay, so now up to here what is now, column names are there, the column names whatever the names I was given there at the time of creation, that all names are showing now. So one is, first one is a what now, EMP ID, EMP name, salary, age. okay, and later I was given the type of, okay, column, integer type, character, money and tiny int. Later there is no computed columns. The what is the computed we will see in the later session, and later length was there. So tiny int the length is what now, 4 bytes. In the same to same character I was given here 10 bytes of memory, and money, if I use money it will take by default 8 bytes of length, and tiny int will occupy of memory. Okay, and this is what it is here, precision values. Okay, so and the precision, when I take 4, precision is 10. Okay, and the precision is nothing but simple, I can say range. Simple, you can identify it as a like a range. Okay, and now here money was range was 19 comma 4. This is precision and scale. Okay, the money data was given, and this is tiny int range is what now, 3. 3 means 3 digits. So that means actually tiny int range what is now, 0 to 255. So that is the range 255. It was represent 3 digits. Okay. So now this is the precision is, just remember it is a range. Okay. So now scale was there, but what is scale we will discuss. And this is what it is here, the type, length, precision and scale, and nullable means every column is accepted nulls. That's why it was showing SSS. Okay. And later on the table I didn't create any identity, any row grid and any primary or foreign keys. This kind of constants I didn't apply on this table. This is my first sample table I was created without having any other facilities. Okay, so that's why everything was showing here no. Okay, so now this is the way to view your structure of the table. Okay, after design your table you just go to call like this, then you will be finding your complete structure of the table. Okay, so now what is happened here in this, I just created one database. First you want to create your database first of all, and later select that database, and after that you can create your new table. After creation of new table, if you want to view the structure of the table, then you can use this sp_help table name. Okay, so this is what now create command, how to use and how to work. Okay, so now the creation of table and database we discuss here, and later here observe when I was created my table. Okay, can you see the structure of the table now? Okay, in especially you just come out here the structure of the table, EMP ID, name, salary and age. Okay, so now after design or after create your table structure, if you want to see graphically, you just come out here object explorer window and go to your required database my class, and later you just go to table, and after going to table folder, now your table was showing now, and this table was having some addition symbol was there here. Addition symbol is nothing but plus symbol. So this symbol you just expand here. Once I want to expand here, okay, on the table, expand here on the table, what kind of the things or facilities I can apply on a table, that each and every facility information was going to store in a particular folder. For example, columns are there. So in columns folder, what it is storing, your table columns information was storing. Okay, and later keys like a unique key, primary key, this kind of keys if you applied on a column of a table, then you can use the keys of storing under this keys folder like a constants, triggers, indexes and statistics. So which you applied on a table, those related information was going to store in the related folders. For example, best example I am showing now. So as of now what I did here, I just created my table with some columns, that's it, and column name, data type I was given, but other than this I didn't apply any other special facilities on this table. Okay, so that's what it is happening here. Once I want to open this columns folder, then you can see the what kind of columns are you given at the time of designing level. Those all column names are showing now. Okay, so it was showing you can see clearly EMP ID, integer data type, and by default your column is accepted null. In the same to same EMP name, character, data type of 10, the size was given 10 and null is accepted. Salary, money, null is accepted. Age, tiny int, null is accepted. That means, so how we observed and how we viewed your structure of the table, okay, by using sp_help command. Okay, here also same to same, you just come to your object explorer and go to your table and open your columns folder, that all columns details was holding and storing here. Yes or no? So now in that way also you can see your table structure, which columns are there, which data types are applied, what kind of names I was given to my columns. Okay, this all kind of information you can see by using this, okay, this object explorer window without writing my query sp underscore help. The query is not required to view my table structure. This is graphical, I can say graphical, you can view this structure of the table. So after table was designed, created in my database, now what I want to do, I want to modify the table structure. The what kind of modifications I can perform on my structure of the table means, okay, so for example, you observe, for example, what I want to do now, for example, initially my table was, okay, created with how many columns here? 4 columns. Okay, 4 columns we created at the time of table creation. But in this, if I want to change, for example, first one option I am saying that, for example, did you identify EMP name was there, this column was there now. So EMP name column, so this column data type I was given char of size is how much now? 10. But char data type, it is a fixed length data type. So that means how much size are you assigned to the column along with your char data type, that many bytes are allocated. Okay, so that means, for example, char of 10 I was given now. So char of 10 means maximum into this column, maximum I can send my characters up to 10 characters expressions only I can send. But the 11th character expression, if I want to send into this column, it is not accepted. Why? Because your length is how much now? 10 was given. So that means 10 characters will accepted. Okay, because each character will take 1 byte memory. Okay, and later char I was given. Char data type is a fixed length data type. It's nothing but static data type. So you know, if it is a static data type, what is the problem? Memory is problem. Okay, unnecessarily I am going to wasting my memory. So that means what I do here and what I am doing here. So first of all, what I am do, for example, if you want to change a data type, otherwise size of data type, then how to change? This is my first modification I want to perform on a table. Second one, what it is here, for example, initially my table was created 4 columns. For after some time, assume like this employee department name I want to add. So I am going to adding one more new column to my existing table. Already table was created. On that table I want to add a new column. But how to add a new column to my existing table? That is second operation. Third operation, what it is here, for example, initially my column names I was given EMP ID, EMP name, salary, age. For any column name, do you want to change? I don't wanted this column names. I am going to change my column name. Then how we can change? Okay, and later the last operation, what it is here, for example, in these 4 columns, assume like this age column is not required for me. So I treated this as an unwanted column which is not necessary to me as per my requirement. So at the time what it is happened here, how many columns are there, unwanted columns are there in the table, those unwanted columns you just remove, yes or no, but how we can remove. Okay, so these are what it is, 4 operations you can perform on your existing table structure. That means the modifications I am going to doing on structure of the table. But if I want to do this kind of modifications, then which command I need? If I have it means, then I need the next command is what now? My second command we called as a, which command here? Alter. So alter command I am going to taking now. Okay, so if I want to do the modification, okay, or changes, okay, any modification or any changes do you want to perform on structure of the table and also structure of the database also, I can use this alter command. Okay, so this by using this alter command, the what kind of modifications I can do it on my table structure means, just now I said my first one, what I said here, how to change. So how to change data type and also size of the data type, okay. So now I can how to change, this is my first operation on my existing table. So how to change data type and also size of the data type, okay. And later second operation on my existing table, these operations I am going to performing on existing table. Okay, second one, what it is here, how to add a new column. Okay, So how to add a new column to the table. Okay, so I can say to the table. Okay, so now this is my second operation I want to perform on a table. And later third one, what I said here, how to change. Okay, how to change a column name or name of the column, yes or no. So how to change a column name, that is one more thing. And the fourth operation what we said here, this is called a how to drop the unwanted columns. So unwanted columns, how to drop from my table. Okay, so this is the fourth operation. So these four operations, if you want to perform on existing structure of the table, then I should be use a alter command. Okay, so now by using alter command, these four operations I can perform on my table. Okay, so how we will perform one by one, we will go to check by using syntaxes. Okay, by using alter syntaxes, how to perform these four operations on a table. Okay, but how to perform we will see in the next video session.